Hello LEGO fans, Jar Bricks here with another update, and after finishing this area here I want to start building something on the back wall. I'm not really happy, these are some of my oldest builds at the back there and I just want to have it as a city feel. So I'm going to get rid of the town hall and the hotel and come up with something new. I want it to be big and grand, something on a similar size to the museum I have here at the front. I love this build, I really enjoyed making it, and I want something that size. It's on two 32 by 32, how many 32s of it? Two 32 by 32 base plates, so it's going to be bigger than your standard modular size. I want the style to be like Whitehall in London, these grand ornate buildings, very old. Usually they were used by the government, I believe. You've seen a few of them in James Bond films over the years. So I want that type of feel within the city. So starting out with the ground floor, it's going to be the snot technique with the studs not on top, so that it can be packed out to give it that ornate feel. So I've added a few extra windows here. I was toying on the colour of windows. I decided on black, as when I put the white ones in, although yes they look quite nice, I think it'd be a bit too much white once it's all built. So, and I also toyed with the idea of putting extra windows near the entrance, but decided against that. So finished up building the ground floor, tried to give it the feature that they have above the windows in those images I showed earlier. And I think it looks better without these windows here, just leaving it white. So same going up, you see a lot of cheese wedges there, a lot of plates, tiles, just to give it that ornate feel those old buildings had. Details, it's all about the external details on these buildings. And yes, I will have to make some changes there, as you can see the different colour brick that the studs are on. So I'll be changing that. But first of all, we need to see it in its desired location. And the thing is, when you're making mock, sometimes you think it looks amazing on your desk, but you put it in its position and it just doesn't look as good. And I wasn't sure what it was, but I think it's just too much white. To have two 32 by 32 base plates of white when you've got the Lego shop that's white, you've got the Palace Cinema that's white, and you've got the donut shop that's white. So I think I need to add some kind of colour variation. So I started toying with some ideas of putting these grey pillars on the first floor and a band across the top as well. Again, on the desk I think it looks great, but we have to check it out in the city, and I just don't think it looks right. The two main colours in this shot are white and grey. All the roofs are grey, all the roads are grey, a lot of the buildings are white, and I just think it's just too much. So I've decided to take a drastic measure and make it a smaller building. So I tore it down and started again, hopefully using the same techniques that I did in the first one, just making it smaller. And the reason I want to do it similar, I do like the build, if it's smaller I can put buildings next to it with some colour variation, and hopefully that will give it a slightly different look. So very much the same as before, just doing it smaller. Ground floor complete, first floor complete. but as always we have to see it in its location. So where it's going to go, I'm not sure yet. That was the space that the whole thing was going to take up. I do want it to be tall, hopefully quite close to the ceiling here, just so you can see it from the other side of the city. So this is the next floor, the second floor, which is just basically a repeat of the first floor with a little bit extra detail at the top, as that is going to be where the roof is before we put some towers on the top. Checking it out in location, and I've got these olive green weird slopey type things. I've got quite a lot of them at the pick-a-brick wall, and I thought it'd look quite nice. It's kind of like a lead roof, an apex roof with towers each side, hopefully. So here are the towers. So yes, I'm missing a dome on the right hand side one. I've got that on order from Bricklink, but really pleased with how this is turning out. Very detailed, very ornate, but as always we need to see it in its location. And there we have it. I really like the way it looks. It's quite similar to Wayne Manor, just a different colour, but they were built in the same area supposedly. And I think although it's white, it doesn't take up the whole area with the white colour like the previous building has done. You can see it from all angles, so I'm really pleased with the height. Next we have the internal works. Now, like I said, one of these buildings was in James Bond, so what am I going to do? Yes, I'm going to make a James Bond internal works on the ground floor with the office on the second floor, and see how that turns out. So that is a wrap up from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week with another update. Goodbye.